Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the 2020 Poetry Bomb. I hope everyone is heeding the advice of the founders of this in Chicago, that since we can't go out, because the premise of the Poetry Bomb is to go to a place in public and share poetry in a place that you normally wouldn't find it, well, we can't do that now. So the idea was to hashtag like mad, post all over the internet like crazy, and to hashtag poetry bomb everything that you do. I'm hashtag poetry bombing these live video streams. I now have a public Facebook event page. If anybody wants to post anything on that page, these live video streams will go onto that page, and I'm talking a lot, and I should be reading stuff from this book, which I love doing now because it's, you know, a Chicago-based group that did this, to have the cc&d recently released issue collection book aiming at immortality. I apologize to my Facebook Live viewers that everything's in backwards because you have to do things in selfie mode. It peeves me like you wouldn't believe. But I'll have these on video in the right direction as well shortly for you guys. That'll post on that page as well. But I was going to start reading the poems that were in this book for you, another section of poems. I hope you like them. It is from the Another Lifetime section of this book. And this first poem is called March 4th. Yes, it was written on March 4th. F-O-R-T-H, March 4th. When things seem to be at their worst, March 4th, and try to make a difference. After you counseled rape victims, fought for women's rights, come together in a Take Back the Night rally and March 4th to support women's rights to feel safe when walking home alone outside at night without needing a man by their side. I even have a photo from the Take Back the Night rally. I'll share it with you guys really quick. It's in this book. Anywho, March 4th, when you see a political injustice in how a government treats its citizens, even if it means you have to stand in a square and confront an armed tank by yourself. March 4th for your rights, to give you strength and to give the government, and hope that the government will actually notice. Collect money from supporters and March 4th to help your loved ones who suffer from breast cancer, diabetes, ALS, AIDS. Even feel free to March 4th confidently into your boss's office as a woman when you know that you deserve more pay for better than equal work amongst your male coworkers. March 4th to get answers when your family hides truths from you that you are positive you have the right to know. It may torture you to learn things you don't want to believe, but knowing the truth is worth 1,000 marches, because this is more dignified. It is the most dignified, the most stable, and even the most healthy way to start to make change. It was fun in 2019 coming up with poems every day, which then meant that you worked on, oh, well, is there an event? So there's been a couple events books for it. And so I've got a lot of these interesting poems that relate to things. So I've got a few more. This one was written on International Women's Day, March 8th. In case you wanted to know, International Women's Day, March 8th. Mark your calendars. So we'll try see how this one goes. It's called Equality for Women. I've seen women treated as second-class citizens on the other side of the planet because their religion says women should cover everything except their eyes, which is probably based on the lurid, uncontrollably sadistic sexual tendencies of the males in the species. I was in Luxembourg on the only warm day on my first European trip, so I wore shorts, and I didn't know that I'd be seen as a whore because I wore shorts. Apparently, I missed that customs training, but I can't help but think that men can wear shorts, but apparently women cannot. Now, in the USA, a study shows college men say on record that they're against rape, but that 3/4 of them intend to get women drunk enough to not fight back so they can get sex. I know the law boys, and that is rape. It's just that you don't want to say that you're okay with treating women as nothing. These may be the same fraternity men who rape a woman and leave her for dead in the dirt. And while she's in the hospital, others press charges against the man. And after this preponderance of evidence, the judge lets the man off with 3 years of probation and an expunged record. It's really amazing to see how equality really works for women. I could start listing details about how across all industries and across all states in America, women make less money than men, and it's even worse for women who aren't white. A quarter of women who are raped, or a quarter of all women are raped or sexually assaulted, and a fourth of all married women live with regular domestic abuse. But really, who wants to hear more numbers like that? This should be a feel-good piece about equality for all women. This should be a glowing commendation for women with power, like Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, reigning supreme as the most powerful woman in the world for the past 8 years. Women are CEOs of GM, YouTube, even Fidelity Investments. Think of the power of female celebrities like Oprah Winfrey. And I don't care if you have an issue with Angelina Jolie, but she's also the NATO Goodwill Ambassador to assist refugees. I could list the most philanthropic women, but some of them are only so philanthropic because of their husband's money. I could talk about more women now holding political offices in the United States, but if men reign supreme in politics, if they won't understand what women want, well, maybe more women would. Or maybe I could talk about the first female astronauts, though only today, on a March 8th, a year or two ago, they actually reported the first all-female spacewalk. I know Americans landed on the moon 50 years ago, but it took American women another 15 years to join the space race. Wait a minute, this was supposed to be all about the whole equality thing, so it's just so easy to get sidetracked when you look at the uphill battle that we've had to climb to gain any real respect. Because, yes, decades, centuries ago, women had it much, much worse. We had to fight for the right to vote. I mean, the U.S. Constitution had to be amended to allow it because we women needed proof that our rights couldn't be taken away from us. And even recently, we women have had to literally take the bull by the horns to prove that we can fight for the big boys, not only in combat in the military, but also in the workplace and at home. So, women, keep up the good fight. Like throughout history, from Nefertiti to Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, or scientists like Marie Curie, we all have the ability to go above and beyond what men expect. So, whether or not all men agree with us, women, know this. All women are equal to men. I believe in women, and more importantly, all women must remember that they are equal too. It's second nature for us to keep fighting the good fight. So know that all women are behind you because you are worth it. It is hard to write a piece about, oh, everything's so equal and wonderful. It's like, well, you know, we still have an uphill battle to fight. This poem, I'm going to change themes. Hell, when I mentioned somebody like Marie Curie, I might as well be, if I was talking science. This was written on Albert Einstein's birthday, March 14th. And it also happens to be the calendar day that Stephen Hawking passed away. That blew my mind when I realized that was the same day. Sorry, I'm getting sciencey. Here we go. This poem is called Vortexes Indenting Our World, and it is in the cc&d collection book, Aiming at Immortality. And I hope you like it. Vortices Indenting Our World. Yesterday, I enjoyed reveling in the knowledge about Albert Einstein, since yesterday was his birthday. March 14th passed, and I reflected on his past, and even on his scruffy misdemeanor. Why worry about grooming when you're redefining the laws of nature? and redefine he did. I mean, I can understand equating the bending of space-time like a vortex and denting any surface, but my mind won't bend to comprehend the slowing or speeding of time. Then again, the only way I'd see that would be for certain is if I actually got so close to a black hole and I stayed in this one piece to understand this change in time. But anyway, as I say, yesterday was a good day for reveling in science, thanks to man who actually had to leave Nazi Germany, fearing the formulas that he created could be used to help annihilation of all mankind. I know this pacifist's choice to write to the U.S. president, asking him to make this bomb before Germany did, weighed heavy on his mind. I just hope it wasn't so heavy, making him unable to make the additional leaps of a physicist's faith, because one physicist did. Stephen Hawking, battling not only the scientific world, but also ALS. Living much, much longer than my friend, who even used the same voice box as he. Yeah, I thought for a while yesterday, on March 14th, what amazing things these two scientific minds could actually create, until I realized that I reflected on the wonder of Albert Einstein on the day of his birth, as well as the wonder of Stephen Hawking on the day of his death. On the day that he passed away, what gravity a single day can take to the scientific world, as well as the world's goals as a whole. One day, a day most correspond now to the beginning of the number pi, but 314 is a day that is more than just about equations. It is also about the greatest recent scientific minds, opening the world to more than just equations. Trust me. Hi, fun changes for readings, and hello new people that are... I love seeing Chicago references coming in to hear poetry. Hi Lynn, hope all is going well with you. As I said, the Facebook events page is open, and these live streams will get on it when I'm through with doing all these readings, but it's open if anybody wants to post anything, writing. You don't have to do video, whatever you'd like to put on there is open for anyone. So, holy cow, this was written on St. Patrick's Day, this poem, and it's called Once They Were Moved to This Foreign Land. For those not knowing the ways of the Catholic Church, know that people became saints based on their lifetime deeds, not necessarily their visions they may have had while fasting and only allowed to drink alcohol. So if anyone was curious, St. Patrick, according to legend, was from England, but Irish pirates took him hostage for 6 years. However, after having problems upon his return to England, he went back to Ireland. As a priest there, he actually converted all of the polytheistic pagan Irish people over to Christianity, which, kind of pleased the Catholic Church. Now, in Catholicism, it seems that every day is saved for a saint, and March 17th was originally reserved as a holy day to celebrate St. Patrick, because of that day is when they believed he actually died. Now, I talked to men who were altar boys, and they tell me that they never remember hearing the Catholic Church ever make any comments about St. Patrick, much less honor him. So this altar boy's theory was that when the Irish were ridiculed upon arrival in the United States, they thought that maybe they could latch onto this holiday as a way to honor the Irish and as a chance to bring the Irish together. Now, since some may possibly say that the Irish have a penchant for drinking, the holiday really caught on as a way to celebrate way too much here in the U.S. For me, right now, living 1,000 miles away from my own home, I was out drinking yesterday. call it a pre-celebration for St. Patrick's Day. And I saw someone wearing clothes naming my hometown. So I had to approach them, give personal props if they were from the same town as me. And afterward we laughed and commiserated and talked about our town for over an hour. And it was a great way to connect with someone from my past, with someone from my roots, even if just for a little while on this one day. And as small as this might seem, as insignificant as this may seem, a part of me wonders if this is how the Irish felt once they were moved to this foreign land. So, whatever the reasons were, and whatever the history was, this one day seems to be a day where everyone can claim to be Irish, and it's okay. Because even if you're not, unlike the discrimination the Irish first felt here in the United States, this is now the one day everyone welcomes each other, no matter what your nationality. Yeah, it's actually crazy. I see somebody, I'm like, Chicago? And we just start talking like mad. And as I had said to the Facebook live streamers, I apologize that this had to be in selfie mode for this filming, and so you don't see that it actually says 312, it's backwards, and you're seeing the backwards type on this book cover, aiming at Immortality, which I thought was so perfectly appropriate to read from the Chicago-founded Poetry Bomb. I hope you guys like these poems. I think I am going to, how many more? I think I'm just going to do one more for you, but then start another feed because it's just too long having, tons and tons of poems. So I'm going to try this one. Uh-oh. If you're religious, you might want to leave. No, I was writing for holidays. I wrote something on Lent, but this is a poem that was written on and for Atheist Pride Day, which is March 20th. So get ready. This one's called Oppression on Every Front. After understanding the oppression women feel when objectification and the threat of rape, it is hard to back away without finding oppression everywhere. Women want sexual freedom and a human feeling of control of their life with birth control. That might be oppressed form if it becomes a religious hindrance. Also, anyone in the LGBTQ community can still be oppressed, treated like nothing because of religion. Speaking of, some religions still even inflict genital mutilation. But those religions keep their lemmings in line, asking them to go to church and hear their speeches every week, and don't forget to regularly give you their money. They tell you that they do this, and this is the path to morality, when the bloodiest wars in history have been fought in the name of religion. Hey, they say, this is the path to morality. So after using your brain for years, after looking for evidence and finding no proof, you made a rational decision about there being no God based on all the evidence. And when you made that decision, it was like a huge weight had suddenly been lifted off your shoulders. You can be moral and not fall in line with the religions that are backwards, with their backwards ideas. And by the way, religion holds no ownership over morals whatsoever, especially when so many people claim a set of religious beliefs and they don't follow them. So when you look at this one decision that you make and you feel the pride in it because you know it was right, and then when close friends who just had something terrible happen to them, they then revert back to their Baptist faith. They write you a long letter asking you to reconsider because being an atheist means you lose out on heaven. But believing also, even if there's no God, that means you lose nothing. And it's at these moments, trust me, when you'll understand. Because if you're supposed to believe when there is no God, then you missed out on life altogether. And when they try to convert you, you'll know that you're actually one with the moral high ground. Holy cow. Okay, that was the last one. I'm going to do these in multiple sessions for you guys. That was from the Another Lifetime section of the cc&d issue aiming at immortality. How appropriate for a Chicago-based poetry bomb to have the Sears Tower peeking out from a bed of clouds for the cover. Thank you all for listening, and I will, in just a few minutes, come up with another live feed for you guys. Thanks.